Namaste, this is JVN Dr. Vishal Saxena, Associate Professor in Mathematics and Statistics in Jayoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. Today I am going to take a session on frequency polygon. This session, frequency polygon, is a part of the course Biostatistics for the program MSc NND, MSc Biotech and MSc FST and MSc Microbiology first semester. This subject of biostatistics is a very important subject and just as we can say, it is clear from the name of the subject, it is a part of the statistics and which deals with the biological experiments as well as the biological phenomena. And in this subject biostatistics we study the various various topics and the frequency polygon, just which is our today's session, today's topic, is also a part. Frequency polygon is a part of the graphical representation of data, graphical representation of frequency distribution, and it is a very important topic and just it can be used to interpret the quantitative data, and also it can be used to display the frequency, the cumulative frequency distribution. So by this frequency polygon we can also just show the cumulative frequency distribution, as well as it can be just used to compare the data sets. It can be used for the comparison of data sets, and this frequency polygon is also just a part of the histogram, and it is similar to histogram. So in the today's session we will discuss about all these topics like the definition part and just other parts, the examples, the application part of the frequency polygon, and how can we draw a frequency polygon. In the today's session we will discuss about that. So we take some slides today to explain this in more better form. So look at this, initially we are given that the definition of the frequency polygon, and a frequency polygon is almost identical to a histogram because it is just related to histogram, so it is identical to a histogram, and the frequency polygon just can be formed using a histogram. Also this frequency polygon can be used to compare the sets of data. So data sets can be compared by the frequency polygon, and to display a cumulative frequency distribution. So means the frequency polygon can be used for the like the first important point, that the comparison of the two data sets, and second is that for the display, to display the cumulative frequency distribution. While it uses a line graph, because in the frequency polygon, just we will see in the today's session later, it will have a line graph and which can be used to represent the quantitative data also. So with the line graph which is formed in the frequency polygon, and it will represent the quantitative data. So now we take the method of the frequency polygon construction. So means how can we construct a frequency polygon. So the frequency polygon can be constructed in the following way, with the following steps. So we have some steps, and what are these steps? So today we are going to discuss that, and for this just we can we will explain that with some points, with some steps, and then we will take example to clear this. So first, to make the frequency polygon, just we can we have to use our given frequency distribution, the given frequency data. So just take the class interval portion, the data for the class interval along the x-axis and the frequency along the y-axis. Next step will be just we take we plot or we take the class interval along the x-axis. Just we mark it the class interval along the x-axis, and we mark the frequencies along the y-axis. And then after this just we draw the histograms with the given frequency distribution. We will take our respective class interval and respective frequency, and we will draw the bar diagrams. That means that is a histogram. So first we have to make the histogram, and when we will make the histogram, then after this in the next point we will take just midpoints. We will take the midpoints of the peaks of every bar. So every bar means the rectangle. So we will take see our rectangles formed in the histogram, and we can see just there are so many bars will be formed in the histogram. So just take the midpoints, mark the midpoint of every bar, every rectangle, and then join these midpoints like 1 to 2nd, then 2nd to 3rd, 3rd to 4th, and in this way. So just join these midpoints of the peaks of the tops of these bars, the histograms, and join with the line segment. So how to join? Like we have to join in this way. Just we have to join the first midpoint with the second midpoint, and then we have to join the second midpoint with the third midpoint, and then third midpoint to fourth midpoint, and then so on. So in this way we have to join the midpoints of every top of the bars or the rectangles, and this resulting figure, the resulting this line graph will be called the frequency polygon. Now we will discuss about we will discuss this frequency polygon with some example. So we take a slide for this to explain this. In this example we are having the 400 students. So in a batch of 400 students, the height of students is given in the following table. So we are having the 400 students and their heights are given that in the given table, in the following table, and represent it through a frequency polygon. So the question is that we have to show our frequency polygon. Just we have to represent these data in a frequency polygon. So this table is given that and in which there are two columns. So first column is showing that the height of the students, and second column is showing that the number of students. Number of students means the frequency, and frequency is given that for the respective height given that in the class interval form. So means there are 74 students are in between the height category of 140 to 150. 160 students are in between the class interval of 150 to 160 height in centimeter, and then so on. And there are 400 total students in the batch. So now a figure is shown that, and that figure is called the frequency polygon. So this red line segments shown on the on the tops midpoints of the tops joined is showing that the frequency polygon, and we can see some like bars, some rectangles are shown that and these show that the histograms. So we have to take the height along the x-axis and the number of students along the y-axis along the vertical axis, and then we have to just take our data. We have to present our data in our this graph paper. and like 142, 150, 150 to 160, 160 to 170, and then 170 to 180. These are the categories of the heights given in the our table, and we have to draw it in the this figure, this diagram, and number of students for the different height categories are just shown there, and just we have to draw these rectangle, these bars means this histogram is to be made now. So first of all we will draw this histogram, and then after this we will take the midpoints as showing in this diagram. So just we will take the midpoints of every top of the bars or the rectangles. So just we are taking the midpoints of every bar or the rectangles on the top part, and just we have to join these midpoints, just we have explained earlier in the session, like B to C, point B to C, just it is to be joined, then C to D, D to E, and next like just we have to take like point F and A, and in that way just we are given that. So in this way we can just we can make a frequency polygon in that way, and this figure is, this diagram is known as the frequency polygon, and frequency polygon is a very important part of the statistics which shows the so many things, just we have explained it. So just as discussed in our example, so this is the method to draw a frequency polygon with the help of the given data with the given frequency distribution, and just we have seen that the frequency polygon can be constructed using the histogram, and it is having so many applications. So students are advised to take first to just learn the part of the frequency polygon, means what is a frequency polygon and how can we draw it. So they have to take some questions, numerical questions to draw the frequency polygon, and then after this they should take some objective question, because this part of the frequency polygon is also having the objective questions as well as the descriptive questions. Just we have seen, we have explained already in numerical part this, so they have to prepare, they have to they have to prepare this chapter, this topic for with the objective as well as the descriptive questions, because such type of questions will be asked in the examination, and it's a very important part. So I am concluding my today's session. Thank you.